Hi guys, it's Felicia, and I had a bunch of people request they were interested in how I had taken the copycat Olive Garden pasta visual recipe and converted it over for my Instant Pot. And so I'm going to kind of give you both instructions. So if you're working with a slow cooker and that's what you have on hand, I'll kind of tell you where the changes are. But tonight it's been requested over at my mom's house. So we're going to have a different kitchen going on. But I started out in my kitchen and I wanted to show you what was going on. My kids are chitter-chattering in the background. Okay, so you can see here, I've already kind of pre-cut our vegetables. Because I'm transporting everything, I'm just trying to make it easy to carry. So, what's in there? We've got carrots, and I usually use the matchstick carrots, which are the right texture, but I was just using what I have on hand today. And then I've got about 2 tablespoons of garlic. I have the pre-minced kind, but if you're really cool and you want to mince your own, that's great. I also have some finely cut celery in here. Not sure if you can see that, but we've got some finely cut celery in there. 2 stalks of celery is what I used. And I used a half of an onion. The recipe originally calls for a whole onion, but I've got a lot of little kids who don't really love the onion texture. So I just take a half an onion and I chop it really, really fine. So anyway, that is the vegetables that are going to be pre-cut for this. And I will take everything and move it over to my mom's house. So we'll continue this in a different kitchen, not this one. And you'll be able to see the rest of it from the meat prep and so forth. And then I'll let you know, like I said, as we're going along, what changes I would make if I was working just with a crock pot as opposed to my Instant Pot. So, I hope you enjoy. Take care. Okay guys, welcome back. We are at Mama's Kitchen. We've got all of our ingredients compiled. You'll recognize this from earlier when I was talking about all the wonderful veggies that we put together. Okay, and now I've got my Instant Pot. I have turned it on saute and allowed it to get hot. Now for those of you who are new to Instant Pot, you'll like this step. I'm actually going to add in some oil, and that oil is going to make it non-stick. Okay, so that's how I was brand new to stainless steel when I got my Instant Pot, and I didn't understand how stainless steel was non-stick because it's sticky. What you do is you heat it, then you oil it. Okay, so that's how you're going to make it non-stick. Alright, so the next step is to brown the ground beef. You can actually skip this step, okay? But if you skip the browning the ground beef step, it will end up gray. And so if you do not like gray ground beef, just take an extra second and throw it in on saute. That's what's wonderful about the Instant Pot, is that you can saute it in the exact same pan and not have any issues with that. So I'm just going to throw that in and let it brown up some. A lot of ground beef. Okay, so we're going to let that brown for a little bit. Now, if you're doing this in your crock pot, you can totally just chunk up the beef just like I'm doing here. And you can totally continue to put things into your crock pot if it's not convenient for you to first pan fry this and then throw it in. It's totally up to you. Like I said, it's just an aesthetic thing. If you don't want your beef to be gray, which frankly it's going to be in a soup, nobody's going to be able to tell. Just bothers me. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to brown, I want to talk about some of these other ingredients that we have going on here. So the big challenge with converting this particular recipe to the Instant Pot is you've got 2 different kinds of ingredients going on. We've got our more hearty ingredients here. We've got our beef broth, we've got our pasta sauce, our diced tomatoes, Tabasco, our vegetables, and then of course our beef. And those are going to need a little bit higher cook time, and they're definitely going to need some time to soften and to thoroughly cook. Over here, we've got our different beans. We've got the dark red kidney beans, and these are white kidney beans or cannellini beans. And we've got the ditalini pasta. And those ingredients are a little bit more fragile. And so we don't actually want to put them all in at once, because if we do, we're going to end up with very mushy beans and very mushy pasta, and that kind of messes with the texture of our soup. So what we're going to do here is we've got our ground beef browning. We're going to put our hearty ingredients in first. Okay, for those of you who are new to the whole Instant Pot thing, haven't used the saute, it's really good. It's awesome. Always adds a little bit more flavor and dimension, so we always do that. It's good. So we're going to go ahead and throw everything into the Instant Pot that is hearty at the same time, and then I'll show you. We're going to do a quick pressure release and add the other ingredients in later, okay? If you're doing this in a crock pot, again, I would throw everything in at the beginning of the day except for the pasta. And the pasta you're going to cook normally on the stove top and just add it in after the soup is completely done. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off while I'm finishing the sauteing part, and I will pop it back on as I'm adding my hearty ingredients and show you what we do from there. Okay? Okay, so I've got the ground beef mostly done. It does not have to be all the way done because remember we're going to cook this further. Now just so you guys are aware, you could totally use Italian sausage. I just didn't find much difference in the flavor, and Italian sausage is much more expensive. So I'm going to go ahead and add all those veggies that we prepped this afternoon. The onion, now you can see it all, the onion and the celery and the carrots. How much carrots did I use? I don't know, my kids are carrot fiends, so I used a lot of carrots, okay? Now you can use like one of the smaller boxes of beef broth. I personally like the bone broth a little bit better, it's a little healthier, but we're using beef broth today. You can use one of the smaller boxes, not this one. I measured out 33 ounces, which is about what one of those is, or you can use 3 of the cans. I'm going to add in the beef stock. Okay. We're going to add in Italian diced tomatoes. Now, you can totally add these ingredients in separately if you want to, but I just don't have the basil, garlic, and oregano on hand. So, I buy it all done. Okay. Spaghetti sauce, and it can be cheap spaghetti sauce, doesn't matter. Basically use the whole can. Okay? And then, this is the secret ingredient. Tabasco sauce. Okay, you're going to want to use at least a tablespoon. I don't think I have a whole tablespoon, so it might not be as Tabasco saucy as I normally like it. That's okay. It will be fine. We will all live. Okay, and that kind of gives it that kick. Okay? So normally I would have measured that out, but like I said, I don't think I have quite enough anyway, so. You can kind of stir that around if you want to. It doesn't really matter. Okay? And again, if you are using a crock pot, then you're going to go ahead and add your beans at this time. But I'm going to show you how to add those because there's a little bit of a nuance to that as well. Okay, so here we are. Got all of our hearty ingredients. And I'm going to go ahead and close the crock pot. Now I did, just so you guys know, I did drain the meat, if that's important to you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put manual. I want it on high, and I'm going to pop it up to about 10 minutes, okay? And make sure that we're set so that it doesn't steam out, okay? We're going to let it turn on. It'll turn on by itself in just a second. There it goes. When it comes to pressure, it will start to count down, and we will see it from there, okay? See you guys soon. Okay guys, we're back again, and we're finishing up our pasta fagioli. So I just quick pressure released this. It's got all of our hearty ingredients in it, and I'm about to add our more delicate ingredients. We're going to start with our beans. I've got dark red kidney beans, and just so you know, I have rinsed these off, and I got rid of all the water. You want them in there dry. First of all, because we just don't need any more liquid. And secondly, because kidney beans liquid can be not great, so it can have toxins in it. Okay, so again, I'm going to add these, and again, I've taken all the water out, okay? Now, if you're doing this crock pot style, okay, you're probably going to add about a half a cup of water. You're going to cook that on high for about 4 hours, or on medium, or sorry, on low for about 8. But we're not going to this time. We're going to use the Instant Pot. Now, I'm going to note that it's getting really, really full, okay? So we're going to add our ditalini here. I'm going to put in about 1/4 of the box. Now this is going to absorb some of the liquid, so it's not going to get any more full than it already is. But when I go to pressure release later, I'm going to let it natural release for about 5 minutes before I try to quick release that, because otherwise it could sputter and spurt out. And so we're just going to add the top back on. Okay, still super hot. So this time it's going to come to pressure really fast. Now, here is the trick with pasta in the Instant Pot, in case you do not know. I'm going to look on the ditalini on the side here, and it says to boil for 10 minutes. Do you see that? So 10 minutes will bring it to al dente. I like it a little bit softer than al dente. So I'm actually going to do half the time. So if you want it al dente, you're going to do 5. I want it a little softer. I'm going to do it for 6. Okay? And it will start automatically in just a minute. Should be like just a second, and you'll see. Okay, good. And it turns on like that. That's how I know that it's on. And it'll come to pressure really, really quick. And we will be back when it's all done. I will show you what it looks like, okay? Okay, well that's it. Our soup is done. And I'm going to scoop it out so you can kind of see. Mix her up a little bit because we just kind of threw those ingredients on top. You can see that our pasta's all soft. And our beans are soft. So are our veggies, and nothing is gross and mushy. Okay, we're going to put some in a bowl so you can see it. Woo! Too much smoke, too much steam, but that's what it looks like right there. Alright.